Please welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. James Olson.
Thank you, everybody. Just a moment ago, my wife tapped me on the shoulder and said, "What are you going to do now?" So what I'm going to do right now is have you imagine in your head, because I don't have any sequins, I don't have the right kind of clothes for this, so I just want you to take your imagination for a little ride here. Imagine that we could find a vitamin derivative, just a little, it's like a vitamin A, that worked as well as the best chemotherapy that we had, so that a kid with brain cancer could do better with not all the toxicity that you get from the other medicines. Imagine that we could take a little piece of protein that comes from the Israeli death scorpion and attach a little light molecule onto it and put it into the vein and have it go all the way around through the body and find the cancer cells and go inside of the cancer cells and make them glow so the surgeon can find the cancer and take it all out. Imagine that we could find a way to, instead of prescribing a medicine for a kid or an adult with cancer and not having any idea if their cancer is already resistant to it, that we could inject a little bit of each candidate medicine right into their tumor and find out which ones worked and which ones didn't and avoid the ones that don't work. And imagine if you could take a brain tumor out of a child who is going through surgery and within an hour take that brain tumor sample and put it into a mouse brain, actually maybe 5 or 10 mice, and have it grow in those mice and then pass it on to 50 or 60 more mice. And in the meantime, take those same cells from the patient and test them against every drug that's already approved by the FDA and find the ones that work compared to the ones that don't work, and test them first in the mice to find out the best combinations that would be perfect for that patient, so you've personalized the care for that patient. Imagine that. So the very talented folks in my laboratory have made great strides on all 4 of those projects over the past 10 years. We found that a vitamin A derivative works as well as cisplatin for the most common and malignant type of pediatric brain cancer. We're now in a clinical trial, and the early results look as though kids with that kind of disease, their survival rate is likely to go up from 45% to about 70% because of that work. We made the molecule called tumor paint from the scorpion venom, and that's on its way to the FDA right now. We will have it within patients within a few years. We've identified the way to put drugs into tumor cells and find out which ones work and which ones don't. And not only are we bringing that, we got a beautiful grant from the National Cancer Institute to advance that, but we also learned that the same platform could be used to help drug companies in their early drug discovery, because right now they do all their drug discovery on cancer cells grown on little plastic dishes where they really don't behave like cancer cells in patients. And so we're helping Merck and Pfizer and other drug companies make better drugs because of that work. And finally, we have started the era of personalized medicine where we can tailor drugs to an individual patient using their cancer cells grown in culture dishes and in mice. And the thing that unites all of those projects, besides the fact that there's these really talented students and scientists that are working on it, is that every project that I told you about was submitted as a grant application to the National Cancer Institute, and every one of them was turned down by the National Cancer Institute. And in most cases, I got back a statement that said it was overly ambitious, or that they weren't sure that the work would be done in the time frame of the grant. But every one of those projects was paid for by people like you, because the families of our patients went out and raised money at events like this. And so I thank you from the bottom of my heart, on behalf of the little kids that I see in clinic each week, for being here tonight. You are part of the cure, and you are the part of the cure not only for these little kids with brain tumors, but for adults and other people with every kind of cancer in the world, because all of this work translates to other kinds. So thank you for being part of the miracle.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. James Olson.